Good day everyone and welcome to my round 10 AFL fantasy wrap up video. It was quite a tricky round to navigate this one with some highly owned players out injured and even some late outs during the round which definitely impacted my team and plenty of other teams I would have thought, but in the end I still managed to post a pretty decent score this week, 21.93, which seemed to be around the par score for the majority of coaches this round, and as a result I climbed about 1,000 spots in the overall rankings to 4.6k, so yeah, it was a pretty solid week for my team overall. So now I'll revisit the trades that I made going into the round, and they were Corey Durden down to Buku Karmas. That trade didn't turn out to be a great trade on my behalf. I probably went a bit early in cashing in on Durden, and as for bringing in Karmas, I thought he had the best job security of all the rookie downgrade targets this week, but yeah, now I'm not too sure after he only scored a 20 this week, so yeah, it wasn't the greatest of trades that one, but I did use that cash to trade out the injured Lockie Whitfield to Sam Doherty, who is a definite top 6 defender. I didn't want to get too fancy with that trade, so I just played it safe and brought in Doherty, which, yeah, I'm happy, so I thought that was a pretty good trade there. So now I'll get stuck into the team, starting in defence. Jack Crisp, 104, a good performance again from Crisp. Apparently he was battling the flu all week, so for him to still play and play well was just a great result. Sam Doherty, who I brought in this week, 89. I was happy with him. He copped that big hit from Kennedy in the second quarter, which yeah, most of you would have seen if you're watching that game. And yeah, I thought he was pretty lucky in the end not to get concussed from that, to be honest. And yeah, so I'm happy to take that score from him, all things considered. James Sicily, 97. He delivered yet again, and you just know what you're going to get from Sicily each week. He's just ultra consistent. George Hewitt, 106. So glad I held on to Hewitt, as he's not missed a beat since returning from that calf injury, and he's just an absolute gun. Daniel Rioli, 79. He was good, Daniel Rioli. He always manages to post a respectable score each week, which is nice. He still might be on the shopping block for me this week, though. Kadeem Coleman, 98. Absolutely brilliant score from Coleman. He had much more of the ball this week. He had 26 disposals and 8 marks, was just exceptional. And yeah, he'll now make plenty of cash up until his round 14 bye, which is nice. Now onto the bench, Paddy McCartan, 73. A great score from McCartan, and yeah, I've noticed his scoring has been quite solid the last few weeks, so yeah, he'll be definitely very handy for me come the buys. Buku Karmas, 21. Didn't record a single stat in the second half of that game, so it wasn't ideal bringing him in this week. Hopefully he holds his spot, but yeah, I'm not too sure if he will, to be honest. Now onto the midfield, Andy Brayshaw, 111. He only played 75% game time, which was interesting, but yeah, he was still solid nonetheless, and yeah, he continues to have a great season for me. Lachie Neale, 97. He had a big first half, but was tagged by Liam Shields during the second half, which yeah, stopped him from going on with it, and that is the worry with Neale at times. He can attract the tag, but yeah, he'll still score well more often than not this season. Clayton Oliver, 151. Absolute beast, this guy, and just wish I had put some more thought into captaining him this week, as yeah, that would have been awesome, but oh well, at least I own him, I guess, and yeah, he's just having a career best fantasy season so far. He's just been awesome. Clayton Oliver. Bailey Smith, 118. Another very nice score from Baz this week. He looks like he'll be a top 8 midfielder this season, which is nice, and he has a very juicy matchup coming up this week against the Eagles too, and yeah, I'm very keen to captain him this week as well. Ben Keys, 88. He's been very frustrating, Keys. I seem to say it every week, and you just can't seem to go beyond that 90 range at the moment, which is yeah, disappointing for a premium midfielder. Just hoping he can recapture that form he showed earlier on the season. Definitely waiting for it. Jack Macrae, 96. An underwhelming score this week from Macrae. He just hasn't quite been the same this season for whatever reason, but like Smith, he has an awesome matchup coming up this week against the Eagles, so he should bounce back. Tom Green, 85. He absolutely dominated in the first 5 minutes of this game. I think he was on about 40 points halfway through the first quarter or something like that. So to only finish on 85 was a touch disappointing, but this is the sort of score that I've come to expect from Green, so I can't really complain too much there. Greg Clark, 61, he was solid enough. He had a slow start, but got going towards the end, so he was okay. And onto the bench, Cooper Stevens, 67. He was a late inclusion for the Cats, and he played well, I thought. He got plenty of the ball, and hopefully he can hold his spot in the 22. And then Tim Taranto, who was a surprise laid out for me on Saturday morning, which threw a bit of a spanner in the works there. And yeah, at that stage, my trades were already locked in, so I had no choice but to hold on to him, which I probably would have done anyway. But yeah, hopefully he comes back in next week because I'll definitely need him. Now onto the ruck department. Max Gawn, 82. He has had a few lean weeks now, Gawn, and yeah, he's not getting as many marks around the ground as he used to, so hopefully he can get on a roll again soon. Sam Hayes, 70. Welcome to the Sam Hayes R2 club to all the people who had him as cover for Bruce this week. He has been at R2 for me for a while now, and yeah, 70 this week from him was great to see, so hopefully he can go on with it now. Now onto the forwards. Josh Dunkley, who I decided to captain this week as a bit of a unique option. 100 as captain. He was slightly underwhelming. Would have loved a bit more from him, obviously, but yeah, at least he wasn't too bad, and yeah, I'll take that from him overall, I guess. Adam Treloar, 100. Back-to-back tons now for ads, which has been nice, and he's been getting plenty more of the ball of late and been kicking goals too, so hopefully he can keep this good form up. Will Brodie, 128. He's just been awesome, Will Brodie, and he just has this amazing ability to rack up fantasy points in quick succession. It seems like he barely raises a sweat, and sometimes you barely even notice him out on the ground. He just does it with ease, and yeah, looks to be a top six forward, I guess, at this stage. He's just been unbelievable and absolute legend, Will Brodie. Stephen Cornelio, 120. Boy, did he bounce back in a big way this week. Cogsy basically tripled his score from last week, and he was playing in the guts this week. Had plenty of the ball, and had a really nice matchup against the Eagles. So he definitely made the most of that this week. I'm not too sold that he's definitely back yet, Cornelio. After that was a nice matchup for him. The Sting was out of the game, so it wasn't sort of a normal sort of game pressure in that one. So, but yeah, for now he's definitely off the chopping block. So good to see him bounce back this week, Cornelio. Nick Martin, 65. He saved his score in that last quarter. I think he had a 44-point last quarter to reach that 65 in the end. So it was looking pretty ugly there for a moment, but it was actually a very important last quarter from him, as that ensured that he reached his break even this week, so he didn't lose any value, which is definitely important for me this week. As yeah, he's on will feature in my trade plans this week. I think it's a nice time to look to move him on now to a actual uber premium sort of type. So I'll look to move him on this week, Nick Munn. He's been very good though for us. Marcus Windhager, 48, who I had to put on my field this week in place of Tim Taranto. He was okay. He had a slow start to that game and worked into it from that point onwards. So I'll take a 48 from him. Wasn't meant to be on my field this week. So yeah, hopefully Taranto comes back next week to fill that position for me. Then onto the bench, Sam de Koning, 63. I actually could have taken his score in the end for Windhager, but I decided to roll the dice, hoping that Windhager could have a big one. Only lost 14 points there, which is a little bit annoying, but yeah, de Koning, he continues to be very good, continues to make a lot of cash for me, so he will be very handy for me come the buyers, considering his DPP flexibility. That will be very handy for me. And then Jackson Mead, who hasn't been getting a game for a while now, but I actually like having him in my team as for his DPP flexibility and the fact that I can use him as a loophole option. And then onto the utility position, Robbie McComb, 62. He was pretty good, kicked a couple of goals, and he should get forward status too in the next couple of weeks, which will be very handy. So now I'll go through what my very early trade plans are at this stage of the week, and What I'm looking to do this week is the traditional downgrade upgrade of the rookie up to a premium. So I'm looking to move on Hugh Dixon this week, and you actually look to throw away that R3 position. Look at some cheap rucks this week. Probably bring in Jack Williams, as he's been named emergency a couple of times, so he's probably the most likely to get a game there. So I'll make that move now. It's probably not ideal throwing a position away at this stage of the year right before the buys, but yeah, I think I have to be pretty aggressive with my trading, and Hugh Dixon's the kind of only real rookie I'm willing to sacrifice at the moment to do that upgrade now. That leaves me with 226k remaining salary there, so I'll look to then use that cash to upgrade Nick Martin, who I mentioned before. I think it's an ideal week to look to move him on up to a premium this week, and what I'll do there is actually swap Tim Taranto to the forward line. Hopefully Taranto comes back this week. Now, that then opens up a spot in my midfield this week, so I can look to bring in a pretty decent player this week. Now, someone who I'm keen on here is Ollie Wines. Now, he's very cheap at the moment, and that is due to that 36 he scored earlier on the season when he had to go off with those heart issues that he was experiencing there. So I think in the last couple of weeks he's began to hit his straps, and yeah, I actually had him in my fantasy side last season in his Brownlow medal year, and he's definitely a top, I don't know, 6 sort of midfield, I think. So considering that, he comes at a very nice price this week, and I could get Marcus Bontempelli there as well, but he doesn't really suit my buy structure, and Ollie Wines definitely suits my buy structure this week. So I look to make that move into there. So a downgrade upgrade trade for me this week, and yeah, that gets a rookie off my ground and significantly improves my team this week. So yeah, that's how my team looks at the moment heading into round 10. We've got no rookies in the midfield now. Backline still a little bit weak with Rioli and Coleman there, but that's okay at the moment. And then the ruck still got Sam Hayes at R2, which I'm happy to roll with for a little bit longer. And then yeah, the forwards this week, as a result of bringing in Ollie Wines, it does leave me with McCartan on field, but I've got Jackson Mead there, so I can actually loophole McCartan and Windhager, see which one scores more this week. So I'm happy to field a rookie at the forward line, as yeah, it takes a rookie off my midfield there, and brings in Ollie Wines, an extra premium. So I'm pretty happy with how my team looks there heading into round 10. So that's all for today's video, guys. As always, it would be much appreciated if you could like, comment, subscribe, leave any comments you may have for me regarding any trade plans. I'm happy to give a second opinion as always. And yeah, by the way, I also have a special video coming up this week looking into the buy rounds and my strategy going into the buys. I was going to put it out last week, but I didn't quite have the time, so I'll definitely do that this week. So stay tuned for that one, and thanks again for watching, guys, and good luck in round 11.